Hey guys, Coach Jason here. Hope you're doing well. So my last video I did a workout progression that'll help you get from your goal pace, from your date pace to your goal pace in 1500 or the mile, or your athletes. With options of workouts all the way up from 200s all the way up to, I think 800 meter repeats. And today I want to go over workout progressions for the 5K. And again, workouts, and there's going to be about 4 to 5 different workout options that you could put out, basically do every 3 to 4 weeks or every 3 weeks or so throughout the season or a year that will help you get from your current pace to your goal pace, as well as all the other training that you or your athletes do as well. But these are a great sequence of workouts too. And I'm going to go from 400 meter reps all the way up to mile reps. So you have a lot of different options. Some of you, whether you or your athletes might be a little bit more strength oriented, or it might be a little bit more speed oriented. But the good thing about this workout is it'll help you identify who needs what. Sometimes these are good workouts for middle distance runners and distance runners to combine together. And one of the workouts, one of the videos you'll see below in the description is a workout on the mile time trial, and it's an important video that I hope you watch, because a mile time trial can help predict your fitness or abilities for the 3K and 5K, as well as your 800 and the 400. And one of the great things about it is it tells you a couple things. If you're closer to the 3K and 5K equivalent than you are the 400 and 800, then that's a sign that you might need to improve the speed development component of your training. If you're closer to the 400 and 800 than you are the 3K and the 5K, it's a suggestion to include some more aerobically oriented stuff, threshold, tempos, and so on and so forth. And then the video, I also have a video down below that will help you determine the appropriate training paces based on your 1 mile performance. Let's say if it's a race or a time trial, because training at the appropriate paces for you or your athletes is very important. You don't want people in the back hanging on for dear life for people who are a little bit further ahead in terms of fitness and performance, because they're not going to recover the same way. So it's important to be training at the most appropriate training paces for you and your athletes. With that said, here are some workouts that will help you go from date to goal. All right, and let's start with 400 meter repeats. First workout, 2 sets of 7 by 400 meters, so a total of 14 400s. You have 45 seconds in between the rep, and then 4 minutes in between the set. Okay, then you progress towards 14 4 by 400. So eventually combine the 2 sets into one. Okay, so 14 by 400 with 45-second recovery. That's a workout you could repeat as well. You could start at date, you could progress towards goal during the workout, or you could do the workout at your date and then do the workout 3 times. The middle workout could be halfway between date and goal, and the last workout would be at your goal pace. It depends on how you're progressing, your athletes are progressing throughout the season. So it's important to monitor these things. That's why I suggest looking at the mile time trial to help to make sure that you and your athletes are training at the appropriate training paces. Okay, that's what's going to help you kind of progress along the way without increasing the risk of getting sick and injured. Okay, so the third workout, 2 sets of 8 by 400. So we added 2 400s. So for a total of 16 400s. Same 45-second recovery in between the reps. 4-minute rest in between the set. Okay, and then we combine that for 16 consecutive 400s with a 45-second recovery. Okay, progressing from early season to late season. All right, those are 4 400-meter workouts that you could do. Now let's move up to 500s. Okay, 2 sets of 5 by 500. Okay, total of 5,000 meters. Okay, with a 100-meter jog after each rep and a 4-minute recovery in between the sets. Then the next workout, you work towards 10 consecutive 500s with a 100-meter jog in between each one. And the next one is 2 sets of 6 by 500. Okay, so now we're at 12 500s for a total of 6,000 meters with a 100-meter jog in between the rep and a 4-minute recovery in between the sets. And then we do 12 consecutive 500s. Okay, combining both sets into one with a 100-meter jog after each rep. Okay. Now that the reps are short, you can generally do a little bit more over distance. You can go 6,000, maybe 7,000. The longer the reps get, the less likely, less you can go over distance. You're generally not going to do 5 times a mile at 5K pace. That's going to be a pretty daunting workout. If you can get to 4, that's pretty good. I'd be surprised if you get to 5. But that said, some people have done that. That's a lot. Okay, so 5 times a mile is not the same thing as 10 times 800 or 15 times 600 or something like that. 13 times 600. It's different, okay, the way that it's working, the way the recovery component. So, all right, so now let's move over to 600s, okay? First one, early season, 2 sets of 4 by 600, okay? Total of 3 miles, 4,800 meters. 200-meter jog after the 600-meter rep, 4-minute recovery in between the sets. Again, you could progress from date to goal, whatever you feel is most appropriate for you and your athletes. Then we combine it and we do 8 consecutive, okay, 600-meter rep intervals with 200-meter jog after each rep. This is great too because if you your athletes are not ready for 6 by 800, you can do 8 by 600. It's a little bit shorter, okay, and it gives you the opportunity to do more running at your 5K pace or at your goal 5K pace. If they're not ready to do a lot of the longer reps, that's why these reps come in handy, especially when you break them down into sets, and then it allows them to get fitter and then do them all consecutively. Okay, so the next one, 2 sets of 5 by 600, right? Total of 6,000 meters of running. Jog 200 after the rep, jog 4 minutes or 4 minutes active. It's always active recovery in between the set. You need to take a sip of water, but just stay loose and stuff. Keep the heart rate moving. Okay, 10, and then the last one you use 10 consecutive 600-meter efforts with a 200-meter jog after each rep. All right. Now let's go to 800s. 2 sets of 3 by 800. Okay, total of 3 miles of running, 1.5 miles for each set. 90-second recovery. Notice how the rest gets slightly longer as the reps get longer. Okay, so 90-second after the rep, 4 minutes in between the set. Then you progress to 6 by 800 with a 90-second recovery. Again, you could progress from date to goal. It depends on where you're at. Then the next one would be 2 sets of 4 by 800. Total of 4 miles of running, 6,400 meters. 90-second after the recovery, a 90-second recovery after the rep. 4 minutes in between the set. And then you combine the two, and then you go at 8 by 800 with a 90-second recovery. Cool thing about this, let's say you have a 16-week season, like right now, winter indoor track. This is something you can do every 3 weeks. You know, after a few weeks of building aerobic foundation again, and so on, depending on where you're at. If you finish late in the cross-country season, this is a workout sequence you could do every 3 to 4 weeks. And you do a lot of things in between, and you can see how you're progressing from one to the next. So your athletes. So just a thought. Okay. So now I'm going to take this down. All right. We're going to go to the longer reps now. All right. So we've got 1,000-meter reps, 1,200-meter reps, and mile reps. All right, let's go this down a little bit here. There we go. All right, we'll start at the thousands. First workout, 4 by 1,000-meter efforts with a 2-minute recovery. Then we progress. Now, this is a little bit of a different one. We have an over distance and under distance, and then an acceleratory component. So the next workout would be 2 sets of 1,200, 800, 500, okay? 1,200 the over distance, 800 is the under distance, and the 500 simulates kicking at the end of a race. All right, 2 minutes and 30 seconds after rest after the 1,200, 90 seconds after the 800, and then 5 minutes after the 500 in between the sets. Okay, and again, you could do the 1,200 5K pace, the 800 a 3K pace, and the 500 a mile pace, or you could work towards that, something like that. The next workout will be 5 times 1,000 with a 2-minute recovery. Okay, workout after that, 2 sets of 3 by 1,000. Okay, which is 6,000 meters worth of efforts, and then you take a 2-minute recovery after each 1,000 meter, and then 5 minutes in between the set. This is a great workout too. You could do this a lot of ways actually. Even for 800s, you could do the first set at threshold pace, the second set at goal race pace. Same thing for the 800s. If you're in the middle of the season and you want to kind of transition, you start to transition over, so you start infusing a little bit more race pace as you go on. Because remember, there's about a 6 to 8 week time frame for peak racing fitness, and you want to make sure you catch it when you need it the most. So if you're doing too much hard stuff too soon, last thing you want is you and your athletes to be peaking a little bit too early. And again, there's no magic workout. There's no magic peak. Okay. It's a prime fitness window, about 6 to 8 weeks. And if you're doing the right things and following periodization, and the principle of periodization, at least in my experience and opinion, is it takes about 3 to 4 weeks to a body to adapt to a certain stimulus of training. So you either increase intensity or volume or something in that regard, but never both at the same time in each training cycle. Give the athletes a chance to adapt, then you move on to the next and the next, and the next. There's no drastic magic peak, no 1 week peak. The last thing you want to do is throw the athletes or yourself out of rhythm with a drastic volume drop, because that can happen. Okay, so just be aware of that. So back to this. So after that, we go combine the two, and it's 6 times 1K with a 2-minute recovery. So 6,000 meters of total running with the 1,000-meter reps. Okay, so you got 5 workout options here. This is something you can do every three weeks if you want. Okay, let's move to 1200s now. 3 by 1200. Yeah, it's not, it's not that much volume, 3,600 meters, but watch the progression. 2 minutes and 30-second recovery. Then we work towards 2 sets of 2 by 1200. Okay, which brings up to 4,800, 3 miles. 2 minutes, 30 seconds after the rep, 5 minutes in between the sets. Then we work towards 4 consecutive 1,200-meter reps, 230 after each rep. Then we go to another variation workout. 2 sets of 1,500, 1,000, 500. Okay, 6,000 meters of total running. Okay, you could do the 1,500 at 5K pace, the 1,000 between 5K and 3K pace, or as close to 3K pace as you can get it, and the 500 in between 3K pace and mile pace, or as close to mile pace as you can get it. 3 minutes after the 1,500, 2 minutes after the 1,000, and then 5 minutes after the 500 and in between the sets. Okay. Next, excuse me. Next thing here, last one is 5 by 1,200 meters. Okay, with a 2 minute and 30-second recovery. Okay. And if you could do 5 by 1,200 meters at your goal 5K race pace, working towards the end of the season at 2:30 recovery, it's a pretty good workout. Great thing you could do with this too, you could repeat this workout like 5 times. This is a great cross-country workout as well, or just an outdoor 5K. You could do, let's say you do 4 of them for the first time at your date pace, and you do the last one at your goal pace, and every time you do the workout, you add 1 on the back end at goal pace, and then you do 3 at date, 2 at goal, then 2 at date, and 3 at goal, 1 at date, and 4 at goal, and then you try to do all 5 at goal pace. It's a great way of kind of phasing in and gradually getting more race pace training into the legs. Progression. All right. So with that, let's get to the last block here. Mile repeats, so 1,600 meters. First one is 2 times a mile with a 3-minute recovery. 3 minutes is a good distance for 5K pace recovery when you're training for 5K. The next one is 2 sets of 1,600, 800. Okay, or mile 800. So a total of 3 miles. 3 minutes after the mile, 5 minutes in between the set after the 800. Okay. Then we progress to 3 times a mile with a 3-minute recovery, or 3 times 1,600. Then we progress to 2 sets of 2 by 1,600, so 4 times a mile. Okay, this is a great way of seeing whether you can handle that first before you get to the next workout. So it's going to be 3 minutes in between the 1,600 rep, and then 5 minutes in between the set. Okay, so 5 minutes after the second 1,600 meter rep. So you get an extra 2 minutes before you start the second set. And then you work towards 4 by 1,600 with a 3-minute recovery at 5K pace. Okay, it's a great way of phasing in one to the next, to the next, to the next. It gives you a little bit more intensity, and that applies to all these workouts. You get a little bit more volume and or intensity that allows you to progress. And these are great workouts too if you have your athletes have a little bit of difficulty with pacing. This helps you kind of break things up in a way to get you used to pacing, and give you a little break, and then do some more at the pace before doing it all together in one workout. So the last thing you want to do is, let's say if you're trying to run 440, which is a 70 average, the last thing you want to do is start out at 64, 65, okay, and then hold on for dear life. I would rather you start at 70 and finish at 64, 65 than start at 64, 65 and finish at 72, 73. Ideally, training the way you race or training the way you want to race is a good thing. So if you like to start out steady, finish strong, then it's a good idea to train that way as often as you possibly can. So anyway, I hope this was helpful. Take a look at the videos down below. I think they'll be very helpful and beneficial for you. If you have any requests of training videos, put them in the comments down below. If you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, if you're an athlete or a coach and you want some more ideas for training, this channel is for you. So be sure you click that subscribe button. And if you want to know when I put out a new video, be sure to click the notification next to it. I've got several dozen videos on training from cross-country to middle distance to 5K to 10K, half marathon, and marathon. I've got them broken down. All of my programs are detailed in this channel. Okay, all of the videos are broken down day by day, week by week, and month by month. You have fully detailed programs. Okay, so it's I want to make my channel unique in that regard. Everything is fully detailed. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope this stuff's helpful. And again, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. And if you enjoyed the videos, click that thumbs up. Please share this with anybody that you know is an athlete or a runner, coach, and keep an eye out for my next video. So enjoy good health. Have a great season, and I'll talk to you next time.